Hello, in this video we're going to discuss information for law enforcement agencies, the command structure of the wicked. So, at the top is Satan actual and working for him. As people would describe demons, they're actually in soul form Satan's followers. So in soul form, there are 6 including Satan. So Satan's got working from Baal, who's from the Moses batch. Satan himself is from the second male Lucifer batch. And with him from that batch are Ashura, Allah, Dominionatius, and Balangong. So those 5 were all from the male Lucifer batch, the second male Lucifer batch. Baal is from the first male Moses batch. So each batch of angels is 5,000. And as I mentioned in a previous video, there are, for the name of each batch, there's always a male and a female, and there's male with vagina, male with hermaphrodite, female hermaphrodite, and she-male, and as I mentioned earlier, female. With these guys, they're all from 2 batches, but as well as that, there is Michael C and FC. Michael C and FC are both from the first Lucifer male batch, and they're separate from Satan and the other names I mentioned because they're here on earth as people who are sent from heaven to be tested by God and failed abysmally. Normally in every history, the 8 names I've mentioned have always been in soul form after having died and then being thrown into the storage dimension. Michael C and FC were in purgatory when Satan and his followers attempted to kill God. So that is why they're not in soul form. And for the past 400 billion years, Michael C and FC have been a problem in heaven and have always wound up in purgatory, then the storage dimension, away from where Satan and his followers were, and then were forgiven because they decided to become good, returned to heaven, and then turned bad again. So they're repeat offenders. Now, with regard to Allah, he's originally from the second male Lucifer batch. Now, he's got a similar name to Allah that Muslims worship, but that's the thing that separates him is that well, it's a coincidence that he has a similar name. How these guys get their names is, in the case of Baal, it was his first words after being created and stepping out of the chamber. Ashura and Dominionatius are similar. Balangong came up with his name later, as did Satan. With Michael C, he was originally called Lucifer, but then in a disagreement with an archangel who repeatedly killed Satan in front of Michael, Michael witnessed an argument between that archangel and angels from the Michael batch. He was impressed with what the angels from the Michael batch said and then decided to change his name to Michael. So that's where he gets his name from. years later, the Michael batch told Michael C that they'd changed their opinion and then agreed with the archangel that had defended them. So how they operate is Satan is in command in the structure that is seen there. The difference being that Michael C and FC are next to Satan because Michael C in particular uses hypnosis on everybody. He has used hypnosis on Satan when Satan was possessing a man called John, and so Satan is influenced by Michael C a lot. Now, Baal is in command of the UK military intelligence, and working for him is Allah. Now, Baal is responsible for a lot of stuff that's happening across the world. In particular, when we look at conflicts like ISIS and Al-Qaeda and the Taliban, all these groups are influenced by the UK military intelligence. They use mostly cell phones to communicate with each other, and they operate as Wiccans. So, although on the surface they might appear as Muslims, they are in fact Wiccans, all of them. So yes, they use drowning and hypnosis all the time. And because they control both sides of a conflict, the UK MIs also share information with ISIS and the Taliban and other organizations and undermine everyone else's work in peacekeeping and restoring law and order. Now, working below this organization are controllers and handlers. So the controller is in charge of 500 handlers for each controller, and there's 2 or more handlers controlling each lackey or victim. And so how the handlers operate is they use cell phones and other mind control technologies involving hypnosis in order to force, and coercion is used as well, in order to force the lackey victim to do as they say. So if you were to look at a crime and say a person went into a building and shot a bunch of people, it could easily be a lackey victim being controlled by a handler, and the handler would just say he or she did it and then wander off and get away with it. So controllers and handlers are Wiccans. The handler gets punished every day with drowning and hypnosis as part of their rituals, and the food that they consume is terrible. The controller is in a privileged position unless they're unseated. So the controller gets to eat or drink whatever he or she wants. They're not punished the same way that handlers are. So that is how they operate and their structure, a basic outline. So Satan also controls not only the UK military intelligence, but also, and their GCSB, but also other spy agencies throughout the world, with the exception of the United States and Israel, whose spy agencies are working against these criminals. You'll see signs of these people's behavior and how they treat their victims. Baal in particular likes to drown rape people. He was like that in Sodom and Gomorrah. Regarding Satan, he thinks everyone should be drowned for their purity. So you hear that often with him. Ashura tends to be responsible for dismembering of people. He did this in Nazi Germany as a judge. So he possessed a judge, and over there during World War II, Nazi Germany, they were killing people with the guillotine as a form of execution, including families of people who were considered traitors to Nazi Germany. So they didn't just execute adults, they also executed entire families. With Michael C., he has a tendency to unseat people from where they live and trash where they live, and also to dump things at people's houses, filling them up with trash. With FC, he likes to use fecal matter and smear it over things like dishes and cutlery. That is just an introduction to what these people are like and their characters. I'm the Archangel Daniel, and I'm from heaven.